Hi, my friends. This is Yoga with Maria. I'm Maria, and today I'm bringing you yoga for stress management. So this video is for anyone and everyone, and I think that stress management is just as much about, managing a moment right when you're feeling a lot of stress, as much as it is being preventative and kind of doing things regularly to be ready for that next stressful moment. And so you can do these things before you're feeling a lot of stress or in a stressful moment. The third thing that I think is really important for managing stress is just to have tools available to you to be able to do whenever a stressful moment comes up, wherever you are. So you won't have to necessarily have this video open. This video is to send you off out on your own to be able to do these things wherever you are, whether that's in the car or at the office. So let's get started. The first three kind of postures or exercises we're going to do are going to be standing up. So you could do these, while you're standing in line at the grocery store. You might also do these at the office. Before I started teaching yoga full time, I definitely was the one in the office doing some of these things. And sometimes I would even go into the bathroom, into a stall, to do a couple of these things. So don't be shy. Do what you need to do to feel better and to feel like you're managing a situation. So the first thing we're going to do is just stand tall. The feet can be about hip-width distance apart. You're just going to breathe in to take the arms up and overhead. Feel the hands touch. And then you're going to interlace all the fingers except for the pointer and the thumb. So kind of looks like this, if you could see that, above the head. And then you're just going to put a little bend in these. Breathe in to stretch up. Breathe out, take it over to the right. The gaze can go to the opposite side, over to the left. And then keep breathing in, breathing out. One more, inhale. Exhale. One more, in and out. Keep pulling the low belly in. Keep stretching that right side of the body. And then breathe in, come back to center. Breathe out, we're going to take it to the other side. Gaze goes over to the right. So we tend to, and then you're going to breathe here, but we tend to, when we're stretched, we tend to go, and like hold and get small and kind of let the stress overtake us. So this is to do the opposite. So reaching up and over, giving the body more space to release. Take one more breath here, in and out. Come back to center. You can bring the hands through center, or maybe touch the thumbs to the sternum, close the eyes. Taking a moment to take one more breath, and then releasing. So take 3 to 5 breaths on each side. That one looks pretty normal. I think I would totally do that in my office, but everyone has a different culture, so that's super easy to do in the bathroom as well. The next one is going to be a forward fold. So just take the hands to the waist. Again, you could do this, in the office. I've definitely done this in the bathroom before, or any kind of like private space. You could also do this, I wouldn't be above doing this, in the grocery store line, or when you're waiting, maybe to like pick up your kids from school. So take the hands to the waist, put a little bend in the knees, and then we're just going to take a fold all the way forward. So let the head fall all the way heavy. And then the arms can just come, and you can grab opposite elbows. Anything that's going to make the head completely relax. So you have some options. You can take opposite elbows. You can interlace the hands at the nape of the neck. That might allow you to release the neck a little bit more. You might even interlace the hands behind the back and take them up and over. Getting a little bit more into the shoulders if you tend to hold stress in that space. And then you can bring movement side to side, forward to back. I recommend taking 3 to 5 breaths just in the forward fold. Big breaths, not breathing in a specific way. If it feels good to sigh it out the mouth, you could do that. If it feels good to do Ujjayi breath, you could do that.
And then from here, wherever the arms and hands are, just let the arms hang all the way heavy by the sides. The back of the neck is long. From here, we're going to count backwards from 10, and that's how long it's going to take us to get up. This part's really important because counting will help us focus the mind, help us bring us back into the moment at hand. And then coming up slowly is important, especially if we feel like really wound up. So starting from 10, slowly coming back up to stand. That's 9, 8, 7. You can see how this is quite slow. 6, 5, 4, 3. Don't rush it. 2, 1. Head stacks on top of the shoulders. And then it might feel nice to take a couple shoulder rolls. Whew, yeah. I recommend doing that one with the eyes closed the entire time. Should feel really nice. The last thing we're going to do is a combination of some body psychology, we'll call it, and yoga. We might have all heard of power poses. This is something I used a lot when I felt stressed or overwhelmed by a situation that I was going into. For me personally, it was mostly a big presentation, but it could be anything. You might be having a hard conversation with your loved one, your spouse, or a family member. And they're called power poses, but it's more about feeling internal power, not having power over, the other person that you're speaking to. So whatever your situation is, we all know that power poses are like these big things, right? So in yoga speak, power pose we're going to do is tree pose. So this takes some mental focus and also allows the body to stand tall and big. Ideally, you do this in front of a mirror, which I've totally done in the office bathroom before and totally have been walked in on before. But I've also done them in a bathroom stall, hoping that no one sees my hands flying above the edge. You could do them anywhere. Again, lots of situations. Maybe you just do them out in the open or in the middle of the street, So hug the left knee in and then set up your tree pose. So you can set it up with the foot on the inner thigh. You can also take it to the calf. Or if you're in heels one day or like not in a situation, you can just take the toe to the ground and let the heel rest on the ankle or whatever version that would be with heels. Hands can come to the heart. And then find something in your range of sight that keeps the neck aligned and straight, that's not moving. And so focusing the gaze will help you focus the body. It will also help you focus on what's at hand rather than like the feelings of stress and anxiety in the body. Take 3 breaths on one side. By the time you get to your last breath, do something expansive, whether the arms come to the side, maybe the hands stay touching and pressing and they just go above and overhead. Or you can take the full tree with the arms outreached in a high V. Keep pressing foot into leg, leg into foot. If you're practicing this with me, let's take one more big breath in. And out, hands come back to center. Release the foot down, feel both feet grounding down onto the mat. Just take the other side. Set up in tree pose here. I'll take the foot to the shin this time. Again, 3 to 5 breaths here. Arms can come up and overhead. Separate the hands. Three to 5 breaths. If you're doing this with me today, breathe in. Breathe out, bring it back to center. And you might even follow that one up with both feet on the ground, both arms up. Kind of a version of a yoga pose, kind of not. And then release the arms. Cool. That's my stuff for standing. Next, I'm going to bring an assistant, my handy dandy chair. So this is really great because sometimes we're like having a moment with ourselves and we're at our desk at work and it's not the right time to get up, but we really do need to do something. Maybe this is also really great for if you're in your car, not driving, If you're in your car waiting to do something else, or you're in the car and you're about to go inside somewhere to have a conversation, or you know it's going to be a stressful moment, you're taking your child to the doctor and you know they have to get shots or something, and that's like really hard for parents. Or whoever you are that's taking a small child to the doctor to get a shot. I hate shots. I almost pass out every time, and I'm an adult. So, cool stuff for chair. First thing, hands come to the knees. Try to actually scoot to the edge of your chair so that your feet ground down into the mat. Hands come to the knees. Who knew? There's no reason that we only can be in hands and knees for cat-cow. That's what we're going to do. So breathe in, lift the chest, the gaze goes up. Breathe out, round the spine. Take the chin to the chest. Breathe in. I'll turn to the side so you can see me this way. Breathe in. Breathe out, round the spine, curl the upper back. Inhale, chest lifts, look up. Exhale, round the spine, take the chin to the chest. Come back to neutral. So you can take 3 to 5 rounds, you can just keep going on that. It's really great because the expansion, the like 1 breath per movement is really calming for us. It'll pull you right back to focus, right back to the matter at hand. The next one we're going to do is we tend to hold a lot of stress up here, yeah? So it's just nice sometimes to have something to release that, let it go. Also very easy to do in the car or at the desk. It's eel wrap arm. So let's do the right arm underneath the left. And then if the hands don't press, you can press the backs of the hands. If you can do the double bind, press the hands together. And then you can even do this with a little cat-cow motion, so adding on, lifting up, and folding. That's one option. Otherwise, you can, I really just like to close my eyes. This can be really intense for the upper back, and so I like to just make sure I'm sitting up tall, pulling the elbows away, and just a little bit down should get those sneaky spots in the back, those little small stabilizer muscles that tend to wear themselves out when we're feeling stressed. Let's unwrap and take the left arm underneath. Always make sure you do both sides. Hands are pressing. Yeah, and then you can play around even more and take the elbows to one side or the other, taking the gaze to one side or the other, just kind of feeling, maybe making little circles, just feeling out where you're holding. This is just to help us have a little bit more body awareness, like where are we really holding, how much tension really is there? And this nice stretch really does help us release. Very cool. Release that. The last thing we're going to do is revolved chair pose. Ironic that we're in a chair, but usually in a yoga class you do this standing up and you're just creating a chair with your own legs. But when we have the chair and we're in a situation where we can't really get up, let's just do it on a chair. So take the hands to heart center. Breathe in to lift the chest. Make sure you're sitting tall in the chair. You're not sacrificing lengthen the sides of the body just because you're sitting. And you have support underneath the legs. On your exhale, we'll twist to the right first. Left elbow comes outside the right knee. You have to fold a little bit more because usually when we're standing in chair pose, we don't have like the full 90-degree angle in the knee. So really fold forward, hook the elbow, and then press into the hands to twist the chest and the torso over towards the right. The gaze can even come all the way up. Oh man, this one feels so nice. Having the support of the chair is really a luxury. Twisting like this can help us release some of the anxious, stressful energy we might be holding. It also helps us release and stretch in the back and the shoulders. Come back to center. You can take 3 to 5 breaths on that side. And then we'll just take the other side. Right elbow comes outside the left knee. Twist over to the left. Really make sure you're grounding down into the feet. The feet want to be pressing into the floor wherever you are. Breathe in. The only situation this might be kind of hard is in the car because your head would be in the steering wheel. But if there's a way to like prop the steering wheel up or scoot your seat back enough, I think this is totally doable. You could also do this if you have to ride a bus or a subway to work and back, if that's your commute. Maybe even recruit a friend. Come back to center. So those are all really great things to do on your chair. Take these with you, whichever one you remember. It's not like you have to do them in order at all. Whichever you remember, whichever comes to you, whichever feels the best, just do that. And then I'm going to show you a few more. So if you are able to like lay down, this is probably if you're at home. I mean, if some of you guys like lay down the back seat of your car or do something crazy, please write about it in the comments. That would make my day. I truly believe that you can do yoga anywhere, and if people are out there doing crazy stuff just to like get some stress relief, I'm all about it and I'm fully supportive. But otherwise, this is probably going to happen at home. You don't have to have a mat. And we've probably done a lot of these together already, but the first one is just a wide knees child's pose. So the knees can come wide, the hands can come forward, and you're just gonna take the head to the floor. If this is too much for you, grab some thick books or yoga blocks. You can place one underneath the belly, and one can come to the forehead. And that will give you a little support. I'll just bring the floor a little closer to you. You might have to adjust a little. Make sure that forehead block is just underneath the forehead, but not crunching on your nose. And then my favorite kind of stress relief thing to do here is just to rock the head side to side. This is such a nice way to relieve tension in the forehead or the brow, another place where we tend to crunch and hold whenever we're feeling stressed or distressed. And this is also nice to just start to open up the hips a little bit. Another area that is harder to actually recognize when you're holding stress there, but then once you go to release it, you really find how much you might be holding. You can stay in a supported or regular child's pose, rocking the head side to side for as many as 10 breaths, even more. When you come up, just slowly tent the fingertips and walk the hands back towards the knees. Take it easy. This is about being kind to ourselves, to coming back to balance. So be slow on the way up. Be careful with yourself. Cool. The next one, we're going to come to lie on our backs all the way down. I do recommend having a couple blocks or thick books handy for this one. You'll come all the way to your back. This one is called Supta Baddha Konasana. Baddha Konasana, rather, not Baddho. Supta Baddha Konasana. The soles of the feet come to press. The knees open wide, and then you'll take your blocks or your books and just support the knees. So it's just a nice hip opener with support so that you're not opening the hips too much. That can actually cause potentially more stress if the legs are just hanging without support. So when you put support, it creates a relaxing, gentle opening. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. And then just come to your breath. You might even throw a blanket over the top of you. Having the soles of the feet and the hands touching the body just creates a calming, kind of almost like circular energy throughout the body. That's a personal observation of my experience of this pose. But it's worth trying this one when you're feeling stressed, to see where it takes you, to see how it will down-regulate your nervous system. It can be extremely calming just to feel the body breathing into your hands. So just feeling the expansion of the belly and the chest on each inhale and the deflation of the belly on each exhale. Having the whole back grounded down into the floor, knowing that you're supported. And you can stay in this one for quite a while as long as the hips feel supported and it's a gentle opening, not don't leave yourself hanging with the knees hanging open without anything underneath. When you're ready to come out of this one, just begin to flutter the eyes open. Gently press the soles of the feet together and use the hands to lift the legs up. Blocks can move to the side. This last one, if you've been practicing with me, will be no stranger. I do it often at the end of every class. An old favorite called legs up the wall, or you can do legs up the block or legs up the book. So legs up the book, we'll do that one first. Take a block, you'll bring the soles of the feet to the mat with the knees bent, and you'll just lift the hips up, place the block underneath the low back or the sacrum, so that hard, bony piece of bone in the lower back. And then the hands will come to the mat, palm down, or the floor, and the legs just come up to the ceiling. You can also place another block if you want to lift the hips higher on the lowest, widest setting underneath the sacrum. You can do that as well. And then you can stay here for up to 5 minutes, letting the blood drain from the legs. It's, again, extremely good for down-regulating the nervous system and perfect for the end of a long day. When you're ready, you can just bring the feet back down to the mat, lift the hips up, and release the block to the side. Because I have a wall here, I'm going to show you on the wall as well. You'll bring one hip close to the wall, and then kind of lay down on your side so that you can get the feet up. This can be really, really relaxing and allow you to stay in this posture a lot longer than if you were just taking the feet up a block. And then the palms can actually rest up or down, or you can take them to the belly. The eyes can close. It's very nice. You can stay with this. Again, kind of the same thing here, really nice for the end of a long day. And I've mentioned it before, but if you act like this wall is your bed headboard, that can also be a really great way to calm the body before going to sleep. When you want to come out of it, I recommend bending the knees so the soles of the feet can come to the mat, and then kind of let the knees drop over to one side. Let the knees fall all the way, and then you can come up to sit. Very cool. Thank you for joining. It's always awkward when I come back up to the camera, right? Whatever, we're dealing with it. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for tuning in. Yoga for stress management. Please, please, don't feel like you have to remember all of these. Totally do the video all the way through with me if you want. Doing them all together will be like double whammy, like cherry on top, whipped cream, all the things. But if you remember just one or two of these when you're sitting down or standing up, take them with you and please implement them into your life, and then come back and tell me how you use them. So comment below and let me know. Again, as always, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, click the red button. That helps me help you. You get the picture. Thank you so much. See you soon.